Your call is important to us. Please hold the line.
All operators are busy at the moment. We apologize for the wait and will answer you shortly. Our operators are busy at the moment. Your call is being transferred. Thank you for calling.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Apologies for the delay, but it's time. Oh, big reveal. Oh, no. Spoiler alert. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Haunt Line. Today, we are covering everything we learned at Midsummer Scream this past weekend. Joining us to discuss everything are Mr. E of TLEV Media and Nico of the Entertainment Connection. Gentlemen, how'd you recover? How you doing? I was tired as hell on Monday, man. I could barely function.
Still recovering.
I'm still just trucking along, you know. It's hard, dude. It's hard.
Yeah,
man.
I've been falling asleep at work, so that's not a good sign.
But honestly, I mean, it was super fun. I had a blast hanging out with you guys all weekend, and Midsummer Scream is just a great time. I look forward to it every single year. I got tons of merch. Did you guys get anything that you're super excited about while you were there?
I got some patches, of course.
Nice.
New Dark Harbor shirt that was just for the event. I don't know if you guys can see
Nice.
it. There it is. What else did I get? I think that's about it. I was surprised I didn't buy that much, but I tried a horror coffee or something like that for the first time.
Nice.
Good place. Not like Rad Coffee, but good place.
Sure. What about you, Nico? Anything fun that you got or you checked out?
Just got my coverage, which was awesome. I got to visit the Hall of Shadows. I got to meet a lot of you, which was incredible. That was the highlight of the weekend, was meeting all of you. But I didn't purchase anything, so I got everything I wanted.
Perfect, man. Perfect. And Nico, you bring up an excellent point. Thank you so much to everybody who came up to say hi to us and to talk about how much you love the live streams. I mean, honestly, I'm super glad y'all have been enjoying these live streams. We sure as hell enjoy doing them and seeing your guys' comments and interacting with y'all. So thank you so much for tuning in and being a part of the action. Speaking of which, let's go to the comments to see a lot of familiar names. As always, thank you so much for joining us. I've got Jacqueline, I've got Midsummer withdrawals. Me too, man. It all honestly went by so fast. It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Mig Hulk, I'm a bit disappointed we didn't get more house reveals for HHN. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second for sure. We'll talk about that. It was very interesting. Hellhound, always a pleasure. Wish I could have gone this year, but I'm making it a goal to go to next year's event. Yeah, definitely do. And then always look out for their pre-sale. The pre-sale is the absolute best value you can get when it comes to tickets. And get them early because this weekend, with the exception of Sunday, was a sold-out weekend. Friday, sold out. Saturday, sold out. Weekend passes, sold out. It's nuts, man. It is nuts. Brandon was, chilling, killing. Rob, I have Nico withdrawals.
I don't know if you do, man. I was stressed out the whole weekend.
Oh man, yeah. Dude, I gotta say, even though Nico, you were stressed out. I mean, I spent most of my time with Nico during the event, and he knows like the game plan to get into each panel and stuff like that. He's the guy. So as long as you were stressed, you took my stress, but thank you, Nico.
That's fair. I'll carry that for you. I'll carry that for you.
Oh, the Walker Chronicles. Yeah, 90 minutes and one house announcement. Yeah, that was pretty brutal for HHN. That was pretty brutal for sure. Cardiac, I'm making a drinking game out of the HHN panel. I have an idea for a piece. Maybe it'll come to fruition, but Murdy says some things sometimes in those panels where, like, if you take them out of context, it's just like, what are you talking about, dude? Oh, Fonzo, my ears are still ringing from that dang fire alarm. Oh,
man.
dude,
was
what a
day 2.
pain in the ass. What a pain in the ass. Good Lord.
I thought I was
go ahead,
the
Nico.
smartest guy in the room, and I had my AirPod Pro noise cancellation, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pop these in and put the noise cancellation on." Yeah, it canceled out everybody's voices. All I heard was the fire alarm.
Oh,
So
dude.
I was like, no,
It was so bad. It pushed Elvira's panel to later on.
Yeah,
because it was just
yeah.
it was nonstop. I would say probably a good 45 to an hour or something like that.
Easily, yeah,
It was-
easily.
Woo.
It was
Oh,
brutal, man. It was brutal. Albert, are they changing the name to End Summer Scream next year? I mean, basically mid-August now, which
Right?
is wild. Absolutely wild to have
Yeah.
Midsummer Scream in August. That's very interesting.
I do think they are doing that. They're pushing it way back just to not deal with Comic-Con weekend as well, because this was Comic-Con weekend also.
Sure.
So Comic-Con happens, I believe, in July most of the years.
Sure.
So I think just to avoid all of that, they're pushing it way back to
But
avoid
even
all.
so, definitely like a record-breaking weekend
Yeah,
for them in
yeah,
terms of
that's right,
attendance.
yeah.
I was so worried that it would like affect them, but it feels like I feel like if anything, there were more people than I remember at Midsummer Scream. So that's a testament. That's a testament to all you horror fans. Monica, finally got to meet you in person. Again, it was so fun meeting so many of you in person that I see in the chat all the time. So thank you so much for saying hi. I have a lot of stickers left from the order that I have. So next time, man, maybe I'll walk through the parks. Don't be afraid to say hi. I have more. Mary, I think Midsummer is on my birthday next year. You know, I think that would
There
be
we
a
go.
great birthday trip. There you go.
Gold Bat birthday.
Larissa, sounds about right for HHN this season. Yeah, and Larissa, also a pleasure meeting you. We actually met inside of the Elvira panel, waiting for the Elvira panel with the alarms blaring. That was very interesting. Julian, hey Nico, Mystery, and the Hauntline. Shout out to you, Julian. Hello.
What
Hello
up,
to you.
Julian?
Oh, Ray, I got to the HHN panel an hour early, but still wasn't let in due to capacity. Yikes, man.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I'm hoping that in the future they do, much like San Diego Comic-Con or other bigger cons do, they have like overflow areas where they pipe in the panels into other rooms. I think it's gotten to the size now where that's a must. That's a necessity.
Yeah.
Just to kind of have everybody have the experience of being in the room, right, when they announce something and have everyone go nuts. So, dang, man. Ray, yeah, sorry about that, man. That sucks. Let's see. Yeah. It was so packed, I almost cried, Brandon. It was very busy. It was very, very busy.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right, well, let's get into it today, folks. I have a feeling we're going to have a little bit of a longer episode tonight, but I'm going to try to get through all this information as quickly as possible because we're covering pretty much all of the major haunts that got announced, all the reveals they had this weekend. And, gentlemen, I think it's safe to say that this 2024 Halloween season will be the busiest we've had in SoCal in a while. Because we've got so much going on. We've got a big returning event. And we've got an event also that kind of surprises me big time. I am, of course, talking about Six Flags Fright Fest Extreme.
Oh, man.
Holy smokes. Talk about a giant surprise. So 11 houses total this season being produced by RWS, who built The Conjuring last season. I mean, again, totally crazy news that they have all these IPs attached to the event. And let's go through their announcements. First of all, they talked about Stranger Things. They promised that it's going to be nostalgic, that there's going to be solid scares, and parts of the story that we haven't seen before. In fact, it seems like they're kind of focusing on that this season, of telling other parts of the stories that we're familiar with, which is kind of interesting. Y'all, what did you think about what they said about Stranger Things? I mean, I'm having trouble kind of knowing where that maze is even going to go, because they had like the facade up, and it was just kind of a random warehouse. Yeah, what are y'all thoughts on Stranger Things?
I mean, kind of the way you're putting it, John. Like, there's not much. We saw the warehouse set up. We know there's going to be the upside down. They talked about that for a second.
Right.
Not much more. They very much kept everything close to their chest about what we are supposed to experience. We didn't hear about Vecna, or we didn't hear about which crew is going to be in there, which characters and stuff like that.
Right.
Very much keeping it all to them, like very close. And maybe there's going to be bigger announcements from Fright Fest. They might drop like during that panel, they dropped like a trick or treat trailer, right? And there was more stuff in there that we would expect. There wasn't those for the other IPs. So maybe in the future, we're going to see that, and hopefully we'll get more information that way. But yeah,
sure.
Based off of the facade, I really don't know where they'll put that, because the facade very much looks like if it were to be back where The Conjuring was last year, between Tatsu and what is it, River Rapids or something like that. It seemed like it was in that arcade area. Like, that's what the facade looked like, but it's not there. And we know that it's going to be the returning original mazes down at the lower area by Full Throttle in that back area. So they can't use those buildings.
Right.
I'm like you. I don't know where they're going to be putting this maze whatsoever. Nico, I don't know what you thought about their Stranger Things announcement.
Yeah. So the only thing we saw was the facade, correct?
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
I
They didn't tell us
everything's
anything else.
very fuzzy.
Yeah.
From this past weekend, a lot happened. But I'm also really excited to see what Six Flags does that Universal Studios didn't. Because Stranger Things 2, I'm sorry, it was an awful maze. It was just caves and black walls from all I remember.
Yeah.
I want to see Six Flags pull off the junkyard scene.
Yes.
On Stranger Things 2. I want to see Six Flags pull off Starcourt Mall, if that's what I believe that's what it's called.
Yes.
From Stranger Things 3.
Sure.
But
go back in time a little bit.
Yeah, like I want to see all of these good scenes that weren't in HHN Hollywood to be put into Six Flags Fright Fest Extreme.
I mean, Rob has an excellent point here. Things we haven't seen before. In my mind, Eddie playing the guitar. I mean, yeah, we got it in Orlando, but we didn't get it out here in Hollywood, which is a big bummer. So hopefully they do that scene, because that would be really cool. And Halloween 365, just finally give me Master of Puppets. Yes, please. Come on. Come on.
Get the rights to that song to play it for that night. They didn't really talk about like which seasons they're going to be following. So, hopefully it is all of them put together. I hope it's not just going to be focusing on the upside down in the first season where they're looking for Will over there and stuff like that. I'm really hoping, that it's going to be a multitude of like all of the seasons put together. I think that would be the great way to do it. And that way it can be coming back for multiple years if it has all those seasons combined.
Absolutely. Ariana has an excellent point here. I'm wondering if they even meant completely original scenes, similar to what they mentioned with Trick or Treat. I mean, yeah, totally. I could definitely see them taking that route as well. Very interesting stuff for sure. In fact, let me just go through all the information they kind of gave us during their panel in terms of the IPs, right? So we've got Army of the Dead, which will be partially in Aftermath, which we called that. We definitely called that. We made that connection on our live for sure. And it promises never before seen zombies. They also talked about The Conjuring. They said that they listened to the feedback that the crowds have, which I'm kind of interesting what that feedback was anyways. Like, I wonder what people said. Definitely the line was very long line. But so they said that they're listening to feedback. It's going to be bigger and better, and it will be based on all 9 films in the Conjuring universe. They're calling it the ultimate mashup. Also, in terms of Saw, they're kind of going that route as well, a retrospective of the franchise. They mentioned that they're working directly with Lionsgate and that it was going to be more engaging for audiences, which is interesting. Interesting phrasing there. And then finally, like Ariana mentioned, Trick or Treat, it explores the universe of the movie, and it includes expanded lore in the books, in the comics. It's a collaborative effort with the director, Michael Dougherty, who, by the way, name dropped Krampus in the panel, and I'm like,
did.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be very interesting. I would love to see another version of Krampus because Universal's was really good. It was really good.
Really good.
And he said that he wants to work at each house, each iteration of the Trick or Treat house across the U.S. And he did mention that we will see Sam's lair. Now, they also mentioned that Aftermath will be returning, but again, it's going to be like cut in half, and it's going to be called Aftermath Nocturnal Hunt, which will be dark, spooky, and we will be hunted. Whatever that means. And then they also confirmed that Willoughby's, Condemned, Truth or Dare, Vault 666, and Sewer of Souls will be returning with enhancements. This specifically really surprised the hell out of me, gentlemen, especially given the Six Flags track record of altering a couple of things here and there in mazes, but keeping them pretty much the same. What are your guys' thoughts on the IPs and also the returning legacy mazes?
Nico?
Yeah, I'm really hoping Six Flags isn't biting off more than they could chew.
Yeah.
This is a lot of new mazes, new experiences for Six Flags to do. Even scare zones. There are new scare zones. Like a Wizard of Oz type scare zone down by Twisted Colossus.
Yeah.
And like a Dia de los Muertos one, I believe. It's just going to be a lot, and
It is.
I really hope Fright Fest could pull it off.
Yeah. I mean, I'm on board with you, Nico. 11 mazes is a lot to do. A lot of events don't even do 10. I mean, Not Scary Farm is one of those events that, they've got those 10 mazes, but also it's at Knott's, it's very much you put in 2 new mazes and then you keep the same ones, right? So we saw that with Six Flags when they brought in Saw and Conjuring. So I was thinking, okay, then they're going to add an additional one. I didn't think they were going to add another, four IPs. I mean, that is pretty fast. I don't know how many. I mean, Horror Nights kind of does that all the time. But preparation for those IP mazes start a lot earlier. I have seen some pictures for Six Flags Fright Fest, like the newer maze locations. Doesn't seem like they've gotten any like wood construction fully up yet, while you have events like Horror Nights and Scary Farm. And I haven't been over to Queen Mary, but they are very much in the final parts of constructing their mazes. They're putting the details and all that kind of stuff. And this is no like diss to Six Flags, but I am like Nico. I'm hoping they didn't, take on too much and got too hooked onto so many IPs, because they got these original houses to still like. What I'm getting worried about is we've got these 5 IPs and everyone's going to go to those. Nobody's going to go over to the originals. Right. And so does that mean characters are going to be moved from originals to the new IPs? So then you're going to walk through these originals and like, there's 3 scare actors, and then it could be a walk-on, but at the same time, worried about what those experience. So it's true. Like, we're going to have to see how it goes. The names will definitely draw a crowd in. We're also going to see like what's now. This is we've kind of forgot that this is a separate ticketed event now too. So we're going to see how that goes and everything. So it's going to be a huge testament this year. yeah, there's a lot of IPs, and like Nico said, we'll see if it's can be done strong, so yeah.
Now that's a
If I
great
could
point.
add,
Oh yeah,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
Nico. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go,
I was
you're
just
good.
gonna say that I really hope they're building everything off property, maybe in a warehouse, and it's just
Sure.
a quick install.
Yeah.
Drops in, lighting, whatever, we're good to go. And also,
Kind of like Lionsgate did, right, for Hall of Shadows.
Right.
That kind
Right.
of thing.
Yeah, and I want to see where they cut off Aftermath for Army of the Dead into Nocturnal Hunt or Nocturne. What is it?
It's
Nocturnal Hunt.
Nocturnal Hunt. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm really curious where the cutoff is, or the cut in half is for that one.
Yeah, for sure. And to your point, Mr. E, it was funny that last year, Conjuring and Saw had the longest waits because I think
Right.
they were the first two that were different, completely different in a long
Yeah.
time. So I'm hoping that now that there's more IPs, the lines will be a little bit more spread out. And that it won't be as crazy. Nobody will be waiting 3 hours, 2 hours for anything out there because, man, that's a long time to wait, man. That's a long time to wait. Let's go to the comments real quick. Hellhound says, I wonder if they'll stay more true to the movies. Last year's Conjuring Maze felt rushed and unfinished. I agree. It's kind of funny because they kind of took the alternate universe route to the Conjuring a little bit. It wasn't like a book report scene for scene. Here's what happened, which I kind of enjoyed. But at the same time, I do think hopefully, like they mentioned, they're going to pay a little bit more attention to the details, the finer details in there. Ariana, I'm curious how it will compare to the Warner Brothers Conjuring experience. That was fun at Horror Made Here.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, really cool.
Yeah.
So I do wonder if they'll try to do something like that. That's a little bit more guided, maybe room to room.
Yeah.
Because I could see that happen. What do you guys think?
No, that would be really cool. I just hope, that they can really get the lines going. Because I remember, it was like groups of 10 to 15 people, like each tour in there. It was awesome. But to add on, like I don't want to sound like a pessimist or anything like that. Like I'm really excited about the trick or treat idea, especially that they got Ted like on board with that too.
Michael Doherty.
Michael, sorry, I'm thinking
other
Doherty.
Doherty.
They got Michael Doherty on board. They got the director on board, and like every time events do stuff like that, like they really stick true to what the director wants to see and stuff like that. So that I'm excited to experience for sure.
Yeah, for sure. 365 says, don't love how much they're trying to cram into one house, TBH. Worried it'll just turn into a mess. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to cover. That's a lot to cover. So that's why I'm curious if they'll do it more like Horror Made Here, where they kind of have like sections for each movie. Because I did enjoy that about Horror Made Here and what they did there. Rob, Army of the Aftermath.
Yeah.
Jacqueline, I'm excited for merch. I don't recall them mentioning it, but hope there is. There was like a little bit of merch last year for the like Saw and for the Conjuring. So I hope they kind of lean into that a little bit more. I didn't really buy anything because nothing said like Six Flags Fright Fest on it.
No,
it looked like it was just like the Conjuring and then like a general photo. So I'm right there with you. I hope they lean into that. Larissa, I'm rooting for them. I am too, because honestly,
100%.
If they knock this out, if they do it right, if they wow the audiences, Six Flags is going to be a giant contender in the SoCal scene.
Yeah.
It may even dethrone a couple of people, which is crazy to think about, but I love it. I would love to see it. I would love to really like see them floor everybody with this.
Yeah.
Rob, Nico, Six Flags never bites off more than they can chew.
That's why we have Rob. I love it. Like we're rooting. We are always rooting for every single Halloween event.
Yeah.
So
absolutely,
it's going to be crazy, and I hope it's super good.
Yeah, Hellhound, Six Flags is really going for it this year. I agree, man. Julian, haven't been to Fright Fest since 2015. Hope I can make my way out there this year. I think if there's any year to check it out, it's definitely this year.
Yeah.
Because I would make an argument that all of their originals are kind of at their peak, at the strongest that they've been. maybe with the exception of Vault 666, which needs a little help. But yeah, it's a good year to go. It's a good year to go. I'll be at Willoughby's. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's a good maze.
Willoughby's is fun, man. Willoughby's is fun.
Slaps, man.
So I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys before. So I'm trying to look up Fright Fest tickets, and I see people talking about it. And when I look up Fright Fest tickets, the first thing that pops up is Horror Nights tickets. I don't know if that's like if that's just on my side, but it's like a sponsored post. So there's competition going on for tickets. But yeah, I'm trying to find the prices for the tickets because they're gonna be. It is a separate ticketed event.
Right.
So I'm wondering, like, what are they going to do? Competing prices and stuff like that, where I hope they don't put it like super high up to the prices, because I don't think they're there just yet.
Sure.
But yeah, that was really interesting. Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
That is interesting. That is very interesting for sure. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh yeah, Ronnie, excellent question here. With the Cedar Fair merger, do you think this elevates both Scary Farm and Fright Fest? And also, Albert, I think you asked this question. Yeah, since this is a separate ticketed event, is there an age restriction this year? Now, I know that Scary Farm has a chaperone policy. I would love to see that make its way over to Fright Fest for sure. I said it in the last time, man. I'm trying to close up that Fright Fest daycare, dude. I'm trying to close it up so I can have a good time out there.
Running out of business.
Yeah. But to Ronnie's point, I think we mentioned it before. I don't know. I have a feeling that because Six Flags and Cedar Fair have merged, maybe sometime in the near future we'll see some IPs at Not Scary Farm. What do you guys think?
I hope.
Yeah.
I think the IPs will stay strictly with Six Flags because it is closer to Universal. So I think Magic Mountain will be Cedar Fair's IP park. Not Scary Farm will stay the original Dia park.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. All right, and to close up our Fright Fest section, they did announce returning Scare Zones, City Under Siege, Carnive Hell, Devil's Triangle, Exile Hill, and the Dead Zone. But they also announced new zones, 3 new zones. Underworlds of Oz, which is replacing Territory Twisted. Plaza de la Muerte at Whistle Stop / Pistachio Park. Rob, where is that? Where the hell is that? I tried looking at the map, but at the maps, I couldn't find Pistachio Park. The fuck? And then
I think that's Old Thomas the Tank Engine Park.
They had a Thomas the Tank Engine there?
Yeah,
Do you mean the Looney Tunes area?
Next to the Looney Tune area. It had a little like Thomas the Tank Engine roller coaster, and it had a little like a mini train that you could ride around.
Six Flags is too big, man.
Well, they still have the train, because I know that's where you can meet like Santa Claus and stuff like that. But that would be interesting if it's that area.
Sure. And then also Grim Lore Ridge at the Baja Ridge, which now I just really want a Baja Blast. I can't believe they did that to me. But yeah, there you go, folks. That's everything for Fright Fest Extreme. Gentlemen, any final thoughts before we move on to our next? Rob, next to the Looney area, I believe. So he
okay.
Yeah, you're right, Nico. It's right in there somewhere.
Huh. Interesting.
Teriyaki, see you in the smog. But yeah, gentlemen, any final thoughts on Fright Fest Extreme presented by Snickers?
Can't wait to experience the extremeness of it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait to see how they pull everything off. It's going to be an amazing time regardless. So yes. I'm super stoked.
You know what? I just realized I loaded up the wrong slideshow. Wow. But you know what? I can fix it in a second here.
Go
Crazy.
For it.
It's the last slideshow started with Fright Fest as well, and this one did too. Crazy. Okay, here we go.
So Chris was saying that $99 for standard and $149 for express.
Huh.
So if you want that front of the line, express is the way to go.
So it stays at just $100. Wow. So it's a fixed price, huh?
Very interesting.
That is very interesting. Huh.
All right. Well, let's move on here, gentlemen. Next one that we've got going on is Queen Mary's Dark Harbor returning for 2024. Lots of information was given out here, so let's go over it. First of all, starting with a brand new maze announced for this season, Breakout, which continues the story of Samuel the Savage, who we saw in B340. He is now being held at a prison on shore in the English Village. And they promised that sets are going to be nice and big. They're going to add to the English Village. I'm really excited to see this one for sure. The next new maze they announced was Infirmary, which is built across 3 decks of the ship, which, holy crap, that sounds amazing. It's going to tell the tale of Dr. Edwin Masters and his accomplice, Graceful Gale, and all the sick experiments they're doing, quote unquote, in the name of science to the guests aboard the Queen Mary. And then they also announced that Feast will be returning for 2024, and that it was basically, although it's being reimagined as a prequel, telling the tale of the chef, it was found mostly intact on the ship from last year, which is pretty incredible, honestly. Meaning that we'll probably see that famous oven scene that we crawl through. Tons of like the nasty, gruesome things they have back there. Very, very interesting stuff there for sure. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the returning mazes to Dark Harbor? I'm sorry, the returning and the new mazes.
Just everything in general. Yeah, man. I mean, look, I'm excited about these. I'm just excited that Dark Harbor is back. I think everybody is excited that Dark Harbor is finally back. No more Shacktoberfest. Okay. It is Dark Harbor from now. What I'm really excited and what got me really excited in the panels was that they brought out Ted. Okay. And he was talking about that he got his little hands on all of the newer mazes, which, if you guys don't know, Ted works in Scary Farm. I mean, he just works all over, and he's probably one of the best writers for anything haunt ever. Like anything he works on, it just turns out to be great. When he was talking about Breakout, I mean, because they're not able to access that part of the ship anymore, they were able to convert this whole new storyline over off the ship. I mean, I'm so excited to experience everything. I'm excited for the slider show. I'm excited. A lot of these characters are back. The captain did scare me a little bit at the panel. It did seem like we might be losing the captain in the near future, which I
hope not.
I'm a little, what he was saying, I was a little worried. But everyone seems to be coming back, and I guess that was a big thing. That was like, it was a little iffy that if all these characters from previous Dark Harbor would be able to come back, and they're back and they're better than ever. And I'm just excited. I can't wait for all these new things that they're bringing and just to experience Dark Harbor once again. Yes.
Heck yeah, man. Nico, what are your thoughts, dude?
So with Breakout, I'm B340 was one of my favorite mazes on the ship.
Yeah.
It had a great story. Just everything about it was super creepy. And now that it's off the ship, it's taking over the English Village, which was the home of Intrepid.
Yes.
So that means we are losing the Iron Master, most likely, as an icon in the maze.
That's a good point, dude. Wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. And Intrepid in general. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Intrepid was a great maze. It had a beautiful cathedral scene where it was snowing. Gorgeous. That was cool. It was fantastic. It will be very interesting because in that spot, it used to be very like you're going through the catacombs of like the voodoo priestess's lair. So I'm very interested to see how they are going to convert that into a prison. And I'm just excited that Samuel the Savage is returning in a sequel maze. Infirmary Graceful Gale kind of has her own maze again. She has
Right.
it with
Yes.
the Doctor.
Dude, that
Yeah.
oh my gosh, that storyline. Yeah, I can't wait to hear
Yeah,
about that.
so maybe we will see that giant beating heart that was in Soulmate again. If 13th floor still
Ooh.
has it, who knows? But it's very exciting. It looks very dark, very gruesome. And then Feast, I love that logo. I'm super
Yeah.
excited for the prequel to see how they go about it, to see how the chef became the way he is. And then the final thing for me is I love that 13th floor is still holding on to the old style Queen Mary logos with an updated look.
Yeah.
Like it
100%.
gives me that bit of hope that they're not going to change too much about Dark Harbor. So it gives me hope just through the logos.
Yeah, it definitely seems like they're trying to embody what was created before while also taking their own spin on it. What's nice is that part of the creative team was part of the old run, right? The old regime from the past 10 years, which that gives me a lot of confidence too. For sure, man. I am super stoked, honestly. I can't wait to be back at Dark Harbor. I can't wait to be walking through the ship. Honestly, this is something that I never thought would happen, especially like 2021, 2022, 2023, no mention at all at Dark Harbor. And I was like, dude, this is gone for good. This is gone forever. So I'm really, really happy that it's coming back. Let's go to the comments real quick. Ariana, can't believe it's back. I can't either. Definitely for sure. Teriyaki, everyone is sleeping on this one, but Dark Harbor is coming for blood. I mean, it certainly seems like it. It certainly seems like it. Hellhound, extremely excited that Dark Harbor is making a comeback. I'm not able to go this year. Oh, man. But hoping to make it out within the next couple of years. Well, yeah, something tells me that there's potential, great potential for it to stick around. Rob, I'm excited for Feast.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
I have freaking flashbacks from like PTSD from Feast, from them shouting at us to get in the grinder. I mean, that felt military and like real scary. It was nuts.
Yeah, that was pretty nuts, dude. They do some really innovative things at Dark Harbor, and I hope they continue that trend for sure. Mary, I feel like I'm going to scream a lot. I'll tell you this much, and I see a couple of other people that commented on it. Let's see. Monica, it's going to be my first time attending Dark Harbor. I don't know how I would react to the mazes. Let me tell you, okay? There's just something different about the mazes at Dark Harbor on the ship. Yeah. They are very different to your traditional plywood walls. Here's your route. It's well lit. It's like, it's very finely polished. Something about the Queen Mary definitely just makes it even creepier. I don't know if it's the fact that it's reportedly haunted. I don't know if the fact that it's the history, but it scares me like no other. Nico, what you got, man?
And another thing about the mazes on the ship is there are wide hallways. There are very narrow hallways. It's not because Dark Harbor wants to do that. That's just how the ship is.
It's how it
I remember walking single file down the darkest hallway. You could put your hand straight in front of your face and not see a thing. I'm getting chills just talking about it right now. And it is terrifying. Just the ship itself.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You hear the creaking. There's sometimes you're walking by the water and it's so dark in the water. You're like, I fall in there. I'm done. I'm done for. Thomas always used to say, he was like, Dark Harbor is truly, he sees that as the horror of haunt events. Like there is where you experience that. And it's like you said, John, I mean, it has to be the ship. Just the stories behind the ship and everything. It's just there's that eerie feeling. And that's what really adds to the event for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Larissa, I'm so excited. I've never been. Well, I'm excited for you to check it out.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it just like even just the detail of infirmary being across 3 decks of the ship, that alone is like super exciting for sure. Walker Chronicles, I want to be on that bridge. That damn bridge. That damn bridge. I almost don't even want to explain it for those of you who have never been. I'm going to leave that as a surprise for you. because I'll tell you this much: I've never been so scared in my life. I think that definitely got me more than anything ever. Damn, it was twisted. It was twisted. HHN 365, so stoked that this is back from the dead and I get a chance to go. Ted's involvement gives me hope. It'll come back with a bang too. Ted Doherty is expert level storyteller. I'm so happy. I didn't know he was involved until the panel. And so when he came out, I was like, fuck yes. Like the stories are just going to be so good, man. So good. Hellhound, HHN and Knotts better watch their backs. DH is coming for blood this year. Yeah, man. Heavy competition. Dark Harbor, Fright Fest. I mean, y'all better watch out, dude.
It's an exciting year.
Man. Mig Hulk, is anyone missing Shacktoberfest? We never went. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there. I mean, what's Shaq gonna do now? He's probably missing it too.
It was a good party event. Like it was a good like hang out with friends and just dance the night away. And if you want to get scared, there's some mazes there. One thing I will say is with Shacktoberfest last year and their one maze on the ship, it started off super strong, but then it got to like the big room section. I don't know what it was called, but it was just a lot of, here we go with the dubstep, but a lot of dubstep, electronic music. And I was just like, please, if you bring back Dark Harbor, don't do this. I hope it stays true to the creepy feel with each maze.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
And again, Mr. E, to your point, some of the most effective parts were the parts with no music at all, with no theming at all, because you're just like, where the fuck am I? Like, where am I going?
I saw people talking about like getting tickets for this event. So, I mean, I don't know if they still have the pre-sale tickets. I know there's
pre-sale's
like a
done.
waiting list. Okay, there's no waiting list for
phase 1 of the pre-sale is done, but there is a waiting list for phase 2. So get on that waiting list so you can get pre-sale tickets.
Phase 1, guys, was $25. So I'm assuming phase 2 might be like $40 or something like that.
Worth it.
I don't know. That's a pretty good deal right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Alex, for some odd reason, the most unexpected part for me was Scary Mary's new carousel. What are your thoughts? So yeah, let me actually talk about the other offerings at Queen Mary that they announced. So Scary Mary's Ghost Rider is going to be a carousel that they are restoring and they're also customizing. So all the horses on there are going to have glowing eyes, and there might be other surprises in store for us too. They're also every day or every event day, they're going to have a maiden voyage launch party, which is the all new opening ceremony. We're going to see Samuel the Savage get captured and dragged off into prison during this launch party. And then this is also where we're going to get tokens to the 4 secret bars that are going to be located throughout the event. And I know, Mr. E, you got some from last year. I wonder if they're still good, dude.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I should bring them. Yeah, see what they can do with them.
Yeah, man. I see. I wonder if there's still legal tender at the Dark Harbor.
One of them says Rogue on there, so I don't know if Rogue's coming back.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, they've announced 5 mazes so far, right? 3 of those being on the ship. So I wonder if they have more in store for us, or if they're gonna cap it at 5, right?
Give me one
because. It didn't like Ted kind of like tease a little bit. He was like, and there's something else, but we're not going to talk about it just yet. Like, I hope it's another maze coming. That would be cool. I would hope.
I hope so too, man.
Yeah.
And then they're also introducing a new character, Lady Mabel, who is a psychic character who you can see to purchase tokens for the secret bars, because they mentioned that, and it's true, in the past you had to interact with characters to get these tokens to get into the secret bars, but that didn't always happen, and you know, I think also the characters were a little overwhelmed with people just walking up to them and being like, token. So they're going to be giving us the opportunity to buy the tokens, and then also Lullaby, which is another returning maze. on the ship will feature the dropping bridge, and we're going to get a peek at the ship's pool. We're not going to be able to walk into it, unfortunately, but we are going to get a peek at it. And then they also mentioned fire performers, the Voodoo Stomp Show, stilt walkers, chainsaws, and sliders are all going to be part of this year's experiment. Of this year's experience. So I am super, super stoked for Dark Harbor just to be there, period. Honestly, I'm super excited about. Gentlemen, any final thoughts on Dark Harbor before we move on?
Nico? I'm so excited for this event to be back. I've been waiting for this event to be back. As okay as Shacktoberfest was, it just didn't hit the same as Dark Harbor. And being at that announcement event, I don't think I've been that excited for a Halloween event in such a long time. And if you do buy a token, and if they're all individual mazes on the token, I would buy it for Lullaby, which will be on the front end of the ship, because that speakeasy in 2019, when it was in the engine room, was one of the coolest speakeasies I've ever been in. So if you need to buy one,
is that the one that took you down in an elevator?
Yeah.
Or was that crazy?
So if they bring that one back, Lullaby is the one to buy.
That one, by the way, folks, I probably won't touch because it's 50 feet underwater. I want to say it's like 4 or 5 stories underneath the water level, because that's just how deep the boat goes. And that's a big fuck that from me. I don't want to be anywhere near that. But yeah, definitely great point, Nico. Great point.
I do have the tokens. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's get it focused. There's one of them right there. That was the one for the circus maze.
Yeah.
And then Rogue. I don't think Rogue will work this year.
No, probably not.
Too bad.
Who knows?
But we did visit the Rogue one. The Rogue one was cool. That one was like because you had the captain was like, he was like controlling the ship with these big like tidal waves coming in, and then one of the crewmates saw us. They're like, "Go, move!" And we went through this secret entrance, and it was just like a lounge place, and everybody in there, like, because there's like characters in there too, were like pretending nothing was actually happening on the ship, like everything was just fine and stuff like that. So, like, just fancy rich people, it's not the end of the world for them. So, but yeah, that was a cool one. Never got to visit any of the other secret bars, but yeah. I keep these, I cherish these. So maybe we'll bring the circus one and see if that one works for over there.
It's worth a shot. Yeah,
man. Exactly.
But it's cool that you have those, man, because that's a relic now. That's
holding on.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a legacy thing for sure. All right, let's move on now. We're going to talk about Knott's Scary Farm. They didn't give us too much this year at Midsummer Scream. Knott's Scary Farm did announce, however, that they were going to have the announcement event once again, just like last year and in years prior. But this event is going to happen on the 22nd of August. Tickets will go on sale on the 5th. Now, these tickets, they said, are incredibly limited. So if you want to go to this event, be sure and get the tickets right away. They also confirmed that this will be Waxworks' final year. And then they also announced the Elvira retrospective exhibit in the Walter Knott Theater for all you Elvira fans. That is kind of interesting because it's going to be, just a walkthrough exhibit in the theater, which means that we're not going to get the Monsters Music and Mayhem show back, which is a bummer because that show, aside from the fucking stand-up comedian, was really cool. The dancers, the performers, the vocalists were incredible. The sets were incredible as well. But now it's going to be a museum dedicated to Elvira. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on what Knott's has to offer us this year? So far.
I completely misread that when they were talking about Elvira. I thought she was going to have an actual show in there, but now I'm like, man,
Nope.
That sucks. I misread that. I misread that post completely. I was like, Elvira's down that bad? I don't think so. Yeah, dude, the panel, I was so disappointed in the panel. You know, it was good to go down memory lane for Waxworks, as that one's going, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. The announcement event, those are exciting. When they do those, they announce everything. I'm excited to hear about the new mazes that they are gonna have. I'm surprised they did not talk about like their tribute store.
Sure.
I thought like maybe just that, because the year before they did talk about the tribute store, and I know it was the 50th the year before, and they were, but even give us something like that, a small announcement like that. Like, I felt like I wasted a good 2 hours of my Midsummer Scream for that panel.
Sure.
But yeah. We'll
Maniac.
Yeah.
They basically had an announcement event to announce their announcement event. I mean, yeah, basically.
Yep, absolutely.
It's the trailer for the
Absolutely.
trailer. The trailer for the trailer, 100%.
Yeah. And so yeah, but the announcement event, I mean, those are fun. And if you are able to get those tickets when they go on sale. Yeah, they're fun. I don't know, Nico, what do you want to have stuff to add?
Oh gosh, I have too much to add, man. First off, like, I love Not Scary Farm to death. So if anybody from Not Scary Farm is watching this, I'm not bashing anything to just bash it. I say these things because I want the best for you guys.
Yeah.
I was extremely disappointed with this announcement or this presentation. I loved seeing. Let me start off with Midsummer Scream. You should have these presentations like everybody in the room has never been to your event before.
Yeah.
And you want to get people there because there are a lot of people who haven't. So when you're just talking about Waxworks and, oh, this is the last year, these new people don't care.
Right.
You're right. No, you're right.
You
Yeah.
need to bring them into your event. And with that being said, like, I'm gonna miss Waxworks incredibly. It's one of my favorite mazes. It was cool doing the walkthrough with Daniel Miller, the designer of the maze. And then the Elvira announcement. So I'm so disappointed. Like
Nico, if I can add, like, I thought when they announced that, it was because for the panel she would be there to talk about that.
Sure.
Yeah. And just first, you're putting a museum where incredible shows have been. Music Monsters and Mayhem, Puppet Up, so on and so forth. Elvira. And then you're going to have her do these meet and greets for 3 nights only as Cassandra Peterson. She's not even dressing up as Elvira. So that is another huge disappointment for me.
That's a bummer for sure.
And then I would have rather had this museum that they're going to do and make it into a maze, because in the past they had a maze for Elvira called Elvira's Nightmares.
Yeah.
And you could have had all of these different scenes that were in the show in a maze and made it a fucking awesome experience. And then put the museum in the tribute store as a tribute to Elvira.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked for the announcement event. I can't wait for it, but I can't help but to say that I was extremely disappointed with the Midsummer Scream announcement, because I did hear a lot of people saying, like, what the fuck was that? As I was waiting.
Yeah. Like,
yeah.
I completely agree, Nico. Like, I mean, at least when we went to Midsummer for the first time, like, we never went to Scary Farm, and we went to the panel. And that's when they did talk about, like, they went into detail, if I remember, about like the debts and stuff like that. And then, they were like hyping up the event. even last year with the 50th, even though it was just merch and the tribute store, there was so much hype behind it and
we were all
excitement
so hyped, man.
because we also got the what's his name, the caretaker? No,
Yeah.
Yes,
No.
The
Keeper.
Oh God,
name?
the keeper.
The
The keeper. Yes, they announced the keeper. Like they announced a new character, and then the lanterns. Like there was all this hype, and then I don't know. Yeah, I agree. This year they decided to step back more with the panel.
These new guests that are gonna go to Not Scary Farm, they don't care about the hanging and how it left and then came back. They don't care. We want things to hype us up.
Yeah. I feel like if they were going to do that, they should have said the presentation was like the history of these things, you know?
Sure.
Not just title it the Not Scary Farm presentation.
Sure.
You know,
yeah, behind the scenes of Not Scary Farm or something like that.
Boom. There we go. Behind this, like last year, they titled it 50th Anniversary Not Scary Farm, like panel. Like we knew, okay, we're going to be talking about stuff for the 50th. And this, we just didn't, we I guess maybe if people went last year, they kind of went that mindset of like, okay, there'll be an announcement, a small one at least for this one too. I don't know. That's at least that's what I was walking in with. I was like, oh shoot, Elvira's in this building too. She's probably going to jump in to talk about, this. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing's for sure. I think they're going to let us have it at the announcement event. So there's that to look forward to at least.
I hope they come off the stage and punch me right in the face. Like full blown. I will be happy with that.
Come on up here.
The keeper's just like, hey there, Fringy Coop. All right, let's go to the comments here. 365 Waxworks, my beloved. I'm gonna miss that one too, personally. So damn, good. Man, such a good maze. Such a good maze. Daniel Miller, you SOB. So good, man. So good.
Didn't know how they would top Trick or Treat, but they did with that one.
That they did, yeah, absolutely. Mary, I wanted the show. Yeah, me too. Larissa as well. Would have rather have the musical. It was fun. Yeah. It was a fun show. Yeah. A little bit of a few tweaks here and there, and honestly, it would have been a 10 out of 10 experience for sure. Mig Hulk just got my buffet tickets going 4 separate times. Nice.
Whoa.
Nice.
That's
and
cool.
Don't forget, folks, there's the pre-scare buffet, and now there's the midnight buffet too. So you can get one of those. Yeah, for sure. Walker Chronicles. Oh yeah, go ahead, Nico.
Go ahead.
Oh just Walker Chronicles gonna miss Waxworks as well. Jesus. But yeah, go ahead, Nico.
With the buffet, if you want to be one of the first people in the new maze, I would definitely recommend the buffet. Gets you into
the 2 new mazes
early. Yes. And the 2 new mazes are in the early entry area. So if you want to experience those before lines get long, get the buffet.
Yeah, because again, the buffet lets you in a half hour before opening, before they let in the general crowd. So that is honestly, and there's even an opening ceremony exclusively for the buffet. So the buffet is like the best kept secret at Knott's, although, obviously we're talking about it here and other people know about it, but it's a great way to skip the lines for the new mazes. It's a great way to get your own little ceremony. And then also you grub, bruh. You grub, and then you also get the souvenir cup where you can refill that all night. So definitely what you want to do for sure. 365 says, as long as I can get that shirt of Elvira riding Ghost Rider, I'll be happy. Yeah, I don't know if that was like an exclusive to the booth. If it was vintage merch or if it's something that somebody made for now. But you're right. That was a really cool shirt for sure, man. Larissa, I loved. Oh yeah, man. I'll show you a picture of it. Larissa says, I loved the Waxworks presentation. I did, in fact, enjoy the behind the scenes look. It was really cool. It was cool to hear the thoughts behind everything. And then Mary,
the main guy too, like in Waxworks, like they had to completely change the idea. And that was cool to learn about that. Yeah,
Totally,
This
man. And
costume's
then,
gonna suck if we do it the way you want to do it.
Yeah,
Jack.
that was good. Yeah.
but those are the things that like nobody really thinks about. Like that's the process that they
Yeah,
have to go through
yeah.
to create these haunted attractions. Because you're right. Yeah, it's gonna look cool on paper, but then somebody wearing that costume for fucking 30 or 40 nights of a run, that's gonna get old real fast, man.
Nice. Yeah.
Mary, glad I got to experience Waxworks on the Lights On tour. Honestly, I'm bummed that they haven't
cool.
brought back. I think it was called Behind the Fog. That behind the scenes tour that they offered for only like the one season,
Right.
and it wasn't even for the 50th, which is a missed opportunity. But whatever,
Well,
whatever.
maybe that's gonna be the maze that they're gonna have the Lights On tour for when they do the announcement event.
That would be cool.
They didn't
That would be
mention
really
it
cool.
yet, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
No.
who knows?
that's true. Lots of Waxworks love in the comments. I love to see it. Honestly, I
Cool.
really love to see it.
Nice.
Yeah, great maze, great maze. Diego, the caretaker, is in Orlando. That's true. The
Oh, yeah.
caretaker. We've got the keeper. They got the caretaker. Mary, great interactions with the scare actors at the buffet for sure. They'll come up to you. They'll bug you. Oh yeah, man. Beyond the Fog. Yes, thanks everyone. Beyond the Fog. They need to bring it back. Bring it
Yes.
back, damn it. Maybe we can bully them into bringing that back like we did the
We're
season
gonna
pass.
bully
We'll see.
them to make money.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, great stuff, folks. Gentlemen, any final thoughts on the on Knotts before we move on?
It's a great event. If you've never experienced it, experience it. I mean, I see Aaron, you're saying, do you think Scary Farm 51 will top 50? I mean, the event every year very much does super well. I mean, the mazes are they're really good. There's like I know these events compete and stuff like that, but even that, like I can't like I love Horror Nights, but I also love Scary Farm. Like they are completely different things, and what they do there every year is very strong. I'm not going to enjoy 51 because I don't like odd numbers like that. So I think I'm not buying 51 merch. That just it looks gross to me. But other than that, the mazes and scare actors and everything else is fun. It's pretty
Sure.
Yeah, Knott's is definitely it's the grandfather of Halloween events. Still one of the best events out there. I'm so excited for this announcement event. Like Ariana said, that presentation was definitely for the fans, and like I enjoyed it, but I just wanted a little bit more.
Sure.
But
Absolutely.
if you've never been to Knott's Scary Farm before, I definitely recommend going, especially with the 50th houses still being at the event, so you could experience some past mazes as well.
Very true.
Yeah.
And then Dylan, what do you think the other maze that's leaving is going to be? It might be Origins, friend. Get ready for that one. It might be Origins because Waxworks and Origins opened in the same year. I would much rather Bloodline. I would much rather Bloodline for sure.
Launch Bloodline to the fucking moon.
And then Alex says, was not hinting at their new maze with the Spider Queen photo op at the Midsummer. Maybe. Who knows? I guess we'll find out, huh?
Gotta go to the event to find out.
Oh, Sam, what's up, Sam? Thanks for tuning in, brother. Any of you planning to go to the Knott's announcement event? Yeah, I'll definitely be at the announcement event for sure. Gotta be at the announcement event.
Yes.
Hope to see you there too, Sam. Hopefully you can make it out.
Yes.
Oh, Sam with a hot take. Also, Mig, I think Mesmer may be the other one leaving. Mig also says Mesmer was bad last year. Mesmer was kind of understaffed a lot last year. I did notice.
All
there
of
was a
y'all
lot of
leave
people
Daddy
missing.
Zoetrope alone.
Leave Nico's dad alone.
I feel like once they remove like the big beginning scene, that show scene, like I kind of agree with that. Little Mesmer could get wiped away a little bit, but
I'd still prefer Bloodline over Mesmer to get Alakazammed myself, but we'll see what happens there. 365 hashtag save origins. I kid you not, folks.
Forever.
I was ready. I was ready at that presentation for if they announced it going away. I was gonna yell out, "Leave it alone! Leave it
Yeah.
forever!"
My heart's gonna sink when they do that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, let's start the hashtag save origins. We'll keep it there forever. We'll just update it every now and then. All right, folks, we're going to move on to our next announcement, or I guess our next announcements. Next up on the list is 13th Floor Entertainment. They had their panel. Lots of information here, too, so I'm going to go through it kind of quickly. Delusion is back this year with an all-new location and an all-new story called The Red Castle. The blurb reads, with the death of his wife, a banished psychologist spirals down to the dark path of resurrection, swallowing his former patients into his tragic pursuit. Delusion, if you've never done it before, it's interactive horror theater, and it is incredible. This time it's going to be located in the Stinson House in LA, and it is literally a giant house that looks like a castle. Super excited to do that. They also announced that Magic of the Jack-o'-lanterns is returning, which are thousands of hand-carved pumpkins along a walking trail in the Whittier Narrows area. Jesus. And then they also talked about LA Haunted Hayride. They gave a lot of announcements there. So first of all, Hellbilly Halloween is returning, which was last season's new maze. Trick or Treat is being redone. 80% of it, as they said, will be redone with the doorbell gimmick returning, which is fun because that was like a major fun part of the Trick or Treat experience in the first place. Also, Midnight Mortuary is becoming Monet Manor, with Janelle Monáe being the icon of this house. Super random, but I'm actually pretty excited for this. I think it might be kind of interesting to see another musical artist's take on a horror maze experience.
Yeah.
And then they also said that the Hayride is going to have more interactions with guests. They're also bringing back mini escape rooms. They're going to have dedicated bars. The merry-go-round will actually be in operation, and they also announced a theatrical immersive experience called Madame Aurora's Seance Theater. So with that, gentlemen, what do y'all think about LA Haunted Hayride this year, or Delusion, or Magic of the Jack-o'-lanterns for that?
Yeah, go, Nico. You have more to say than me.
I'm going to start off with my least excited, and that's going to be LA Haunted Hayride. Unfortunately, last year was a huge bummer for me. It just didn't feel like LA Haunted Hayride from the past, and like Trick or Treat. I'm glad they're revamping 80% of the maze and bringing back doorbells, because that was a huge thing that was missing. And then Hellbilly Halloween. Yeah, it was a decent maze. It was a good first year for it. And then I'm excited that we'll be able to ride the carousel.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
The hayride itself, I'm most iffy about, just because it feels like it's been getting lower. But with new scenes, I hope it jumps back up to being great or a lot of fun. And then Monet Manor. I hope that's the scariest thing I go through all season. I hope I full-blown shit my pants in there, because I will tell you there is zero excitement for me for that announcement.
Hey man, I mean, who knows? It might be like the weekend maze. Who knows?
Sure.
But then we have Delusion, which is in a brand new location over by USC in a castle.
Yeah.
And I tried looking up on maps. I couldn't find it, unfortunately, but I hope it's a huge floor plan or huge grounds, because the thing with Delusion is running across the yard of the Phillips Mansion is terrifying.
Yeah.
But I just think it being in a castle is gonna be super, super rad.
Oh yeah.
And
It's literally a red castle. It's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Magic of the Jack-o'-lanterns, it's a great family event. I fully support it. Unfortunately, I didn't go last year, but I'm rooting for it. I think it's a good time for your family. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Mr. E, thoughts?
Hayride I haven't been in a minute.
Interesting. When was the last time you went? Do you remember?
Oh man. Probably 21 or 22.
Okay.
It was when they switched like the location to like farther into the park, the Griffith.
I want to say that was 21. I want to say.
Okay. All I remember is because you had to walk straight down like this dirt road for a little bit, and then you went under this like overarching hedge and stuff like that. They just, when I went last time, not that many scare actors. And so they were trying their best to do what they could. I don't think anything can ever really beat the first time they brought in all the interactive like characters and everything. That was incredible when they did that. Very much building on what's the place called? Midnight Falls.
Midnight Falls, where it's always Halloween. Yeah.
Oh man, that was the best of times. But I mean, Hayride, it's like it's not a super expensive event, so maybe try it out because the Janelle Monáe maze, we got to see what that's all about.
Yeah, man.
I've never listened to her music before, so I don't know. All I know is she's from Glass Onion. I've seen that movie.
Great movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she main character in Glass Onion. So.
She's apparently like big into horror, which is pretty fun.
I didn't go to that panel. Was she there?
No, she videoed in and talked about it a little bit. But yeah, huge into horror. So I'm really excited to see, because they mentioned that they worked with her directly. So a lot of this is going to be like her vision. It's going to be interesting to see that for sure, especially again, if it's in the same vein of like The Weeknd or something where they're clearly horror fans. Cool. I'm pretty excited to see what they bring to the table with that.
Yeah.
It's just mystery house.
Always... Glass Onion, huh? The hardest part about Hayride is the time they have to put everything up and take everything down, because it's a park. And I don't know if that's still an issue that they have to deal with.
Oh yeah,
it is. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah. So that's the hardest part. But Hayride, it's like this year, I mean, with that new Janelle Monáe like experience, like I'm excited for that. And don't they have an escape room this year too, or something like
mini
that?
Escape rooms. They have mini escape rooms throughout. Yeah, so that you're going to be able to do. I would imagine they'll probably be like 20 minutes each, right? Right. But yeah, mini escape rooms. That does sound pretty fun.
Yeah, that's cool. And then Delusion. I'm so excited for Delusion.
Oh yeah, man.
The storyline, the idea. I have a feeling we're going to be the patients. Going back to see our psychologist who's gone mad. And if the place seems huge, and I'm assuming the interior is huge, so the whole thing why it's moved locations because they have to redo the last location because it's kind of falling apart because it's old. It's a historical building.
Hear it.
Oh yeah, every walk, every step was like major creaks. Yeah, for sure.
But I'm assuming the Simpsons, something like that.
Simpsons.
The Simpsons castle. I'm assuming it's refurbed already. So maybe a lot's gonna be happening inside the castle, which would be super freaking awesome if that's the case. But yeah, I'm excited. Anything Delusion, anything is usually like really freaking cool. So yeah, that I'm so excited for.
So with the Simpson house,
wait.
There's a front yard. There's a nice big front yard.
Okay.
But it's not the grounds of the Phillips Mansion. But holy shoot, is that castle or house huge?
It's
man.
Oh, dude, I can't wait.
That's exciting. If y'all have never done Delusion before, definitely check it out. They don't touch you, they don't do anything crazy. It's not 17th Door. It's not an extreme haunt like that at all. However, it is incredibly immersive. The storytelling is a lot of fun. The actors are so good. There's great effects throughout. It's kind of a guided experience, so there's somebody with you kind of taking you from story beat to story beat. But my God, truly very, very unique. I highly recommend it, and especially if you're trying to do it, I would say try to buy your tickets as early as possible, because last year, I'm not super happy about this, but last year they introduced surge pricing. So as tickets would sell out for time slots, the price would start going up. And then obviously the deeper in the run, the closer it gets to Halloween, the price goes up as well. So just be on the lookout for that. Try to plan accordingly. But it is an incredible experience, incredibly theatrical. We all went and did it together. And at one point, here we all are huddled together, scared for our lives in the basement of this ancient house. And they're slamming doors shut. Lights are turning off. My God, it's just so good. It's so good. Y'all check
really
it out
great.
for sure.
Really great.
And Nico, to your point, yeah, dude. Oh yeah, stunts, tons of stunts. Great stuff.
Incredible.
Great stuff, man. To your point, Nico, for LA Haunted Hayride, I really hope that they focus a little bit more on the hayride itself, because that's the namesake, right? You're going to the LA Haunted Hayride. The hayride should be the main event. It should be like the thing that everyone gets off of and is like, whoa, I can't believe we just did that. And I think last year it suffered a little bit for various reasons. But I think there's tweaks to be made there, and I hope they can make them this year, because it's a unique thing that nobody else has down here in Southern California, which is the hayride. So they got to lean into it as much as they can. And I definitely appreciated not sitting on the ground in the hay. It was nice to have actual hay bales to sit on and be comfortable. Everyone looking all LA cute, and then they get all dusty and there's hay in your ass crack. Not fun, man. Not fun. So I'm glad they changed that.
Musty and dusty and a little bit musty.
In the words of the ringmaster.
All right, let's go to the comments real quick. Aaron Flores, 13th floor. Let's go. We got a 13th floor enthusiast here. Hell yeah, man. Ariana, can't believe they got Janelle Monáe. It might even get me out in the hay. There you go. There you go.
Not me. Yeah.
I'm sure you're not the only one with that same thought for sure. Very exciting. Monica says, I might go this year, and it will be my first time attending the LA Haunted Hayride. Very fun.
Do it.
Very fun.
Yeah.
I hope you're able to check it out. Sam wants to know, Nico, aren't you getting you aren't getting the season pass for LA Haunted Hayride?
Just to let you know, I'm the LA Haunted Hayride ambassador, so I don't need a season pass. I could just show up whenever I want.
Just Mig Hulk, Monty Revolta, best part of the Haunted Hayride. I do really enjoy Monty Revolta's show.
Nice.
Something about the comedy just gets me every time. It's slapstick. It's dumb.
It's great.
I really, really enjoy it. Yeah, for sure. Sam says, first year Midnight Falls was the GOAT. The cast was fire. Really great interactions that first year for sure, man.
I have
Ronnie.
I don't know if you guys can see back there. Okay, that right there is the cap from, I forget, one of the cooks.
Oh yeah,
right there. And
nice.
So we got to keep that, and we love it. We love it. The cast was awesome. Yeah,
great character work out there for sure.
Yeah.
Great character work.
Yeah.
Ronnie Rod says there could be some nurse/doctor hospital stuff for her maze from the Tightrope music video. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to do some homework. I'm gonna have to look up her repertoire, her all of her music videos and
I
stuff.
thought she was a housewife at first. I had no clue who she was.
I thought she was just an actress, because like literally saw her in Glass Onion. I know she was in Moonlight. I know that too. But
okay.
Like I did not know she made music.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
All right, we got some homework to do, gentlemen. We got some homework.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, we
Cardiac
do.
says, "Okay, go with me on this for next year, Chapel Roan." I mean, it could be fun. It could be fun.
Interesting.
Yeah, she's a
Okay.
theater kid too. I feel like she'd probably get a kick out of being all spooky. And I'm still waiting for that Lady Gaga house one year, man. Come on,
Yeah.
come on. We got to get it, man. Sam says, "I can get with the Chapel Roan theme. Would be so fun."
Could be cool.
And well, folks, we're gonna end our live stream today by talking about Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood, which had their panel at at Midsummer Scream. Again, the huge attendance for this panel every time. It's definitely the most anticipated panel every single year. So they made a couple of announcements, and they hinted at a couple of things too. First of all, they talked about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the legacy of Leatherface. Now, this is confirmed to be going in the T-pad behind Transformers, and it's going to be celebrating the 50th anniversary of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And they're taking a multiverse approach to this. We're going to see every iteration of Leatherface in this house. And it takes place in the Sawyer? It takes place in the Sawyer family slaughterhouse, named after the filmmakers behind the franchise. Now, I wasn't able to put it in the slideshow because I ran out of time, but pretty soon here, we are going to be getting a peek at the facade once they finish it. But yeah, kind of a fun little Easter egg. They named it after the filmmakers. Pretty fun. But yeah, celebrating 50 years of Leatherface, which is pretty interesting. They also announced, or they gave us more details about the recently announced Universal Monsters Eternal Bloodlines. Now, this is a collaboration with our friends out in Orlando, who is also getting the same maze. It's going to center around Saskia Van Helsing, who is an original character for the event and is the last descendant of Van Helsing. All other Van Helsings have been killed by Dracula's daughter to avenge her father, and she's going to form an unlikely alliance with the bride from the 2021 house. And the antagonists of the house are going to be the Unholy Alliance, which are Dracula's daughter, which is based on the 1936 sequel to Dracula, the She-Wolf of London, inspired by the 1946 film, and then a Noxunamun, inspired by the classic film The Mummy, who, fun little Easter egg, is wearing the Amulet of Ra from the 2021 Legends Collide maze. So I guess at the end of the day, a Noxunamun won, because she got to keep the amulet.
So.
I guess so, right? Yeah, pretty interesting there for sure. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on these two mazes that they talked about at the HHN panel?
Oh man, I mean, just getting to the panel. I mean, I saw a lot of people talking about having to wait a long time for it, and it's gonna be like that every year. I'm gonna be honest, for Midsummer Scream, it's gonna be a long wait. So if you like, we've talked about I don't know, you guys weren't there for the live stream, but on our live stream, we talked about it. Like, you got to get there 2 hours before. So for the HHN panel, but the announcements, I'm not a huge fan of like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like just the movies in general. Like, I've seen the first one or not the movies. Okay. More like the mazes turned in from the movies. Sure. Never been a huge fan of them, but the way that they were hyping up this multiverse, like, aspect of every single Leatherface and going through like a historical idea of slaughterhouses and the jobs of working in a slaughterhouse got me hyped. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, damn it, I did not want to be excited for this, because when they showed the key art at the beginning, they're like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I was like, damn.
Same.
We were it was like these speculations were correct. But when Murdy got it, and Murdy knows how to do these panels, I mean, it's just, he just knows how to do it. And he loves history. You can tell because he's excited when he's talking about history. And so when he's implementing that into this maze, It got me excited. It got a lot of people excited in the panel also, or who were there. I'm really excited for this. I know it's gonna stink in there, so maybe I'm gonna bring a mask just in case, because they said it's gonna stink more than Exorcist Believer last year.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
I'm not ready for that. I really
No.
am. There's some scenes that they talked about that it's just, it's gonna stink in there. So I'm gonna bring a mask just in case. That one's gonna be great. I think that's gonna be one of those like thinking about a game plan in the future. Like I haven't gotten it down yet. What's the game plan for this year? But TCM might be one of those that you got to hit at the beginning. I mean, that lower lot is going to be, it's packed down there. There's some big things, including Internal Bloodlines, right? Internal Bloodlines. Yes. That's down there.
Yeah.
In
Soundstage
12. So lower lot's going to be crazy this year. Eternal Bloodlines, that storyline, I love it too. Very much that the bride and Saskia has got to work together. That is really awesome. Or they supposed to work together, but then they end up splitting up to go chase after the different monsters. So that's going to be interesting. Again, this is one of those that Universal Monsters. I mean, I know a lot of people, including Nico, did not like Universal Monsters last year. But I enjoyed it very much so. Every year for Universal Monsters is always done well because of the storylines they go with. And this is another one that it seems like they're very much focused on kind of like the history of Universal Monsters with a tag, like a little touch of a new feeling to it, a new story to go with it too. So the representation is going to be awesome. The monsters, they were showing the key arts of like how every character looks. They're going to be great. And so
the sculpts
really
look
excited.
pretty good, man. Yeah, all the mask sculpts look pretty awesome, man.
It looks so cool. I can't wait. Yeah.
I want to bring up something here real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but Ariana, not gonna lie, all these have the vibe of Van Helsing, Underworld, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, would have loved to see a woman heading it up instead, for sure. And that's what's kind of fun about Orlando's. Literally, Orlando's Eternal Night or Eternal Bloodlines, written by a woman or a team. It's composed by a woman as well. It's pretty much the whole cast is going to be all women. Fucking awesome that Orlando's doing that for sure. I'm ready for for Hollywood to follow in those footsteps too. I mean, Monstro's out there is, it's a Latino team. I think it's time for Hollywood to do that for sure. A little bit more of that representation for sure. But either way, still super stoked for Eternal Bloodlines. And I'm excited to see both coasts' versions, both coasts' takes, especially since we're not doing that part 1, part 2 nonsense anymore.
And that didn't even really work that well either. It was like, because they were killing off some of the monsters on the other side. And I was like, wait, hold on. What's going on here? Yeah.
Oh, Robert, y'all called it out with the Slash final album with the TLEV live stream. That's true, man. You have Mr. E. It's all thanks to you, dude.
But
you manifested it, bro.
It's got me wondering, does that mean no more Slash music after this?
I don't think so. I hope not. That's such a fun, unique thing to Hollywood. They'd be fools to get rid of that. But I think Slash gets it. Obviously, he gets a kick out of it, or else he wouldn't do it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I hope not. Yeah, for sure. Nico, what are your thoughts on HHN Hollywood's two mazes that they talked about at Midsummer, man?
Yeah.
So I purposely wore my 2021 shirt because the last time we had The Bride of Frankenstein and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre the same year was 2021.
Holy crap, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
Coincidental fun thing. Think about. But like Tim said, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I don't think anybody was really excited about it. But the way John Murdy knows how to hype up a crowd, everybody was on their feet screaming and cheering for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And like I was excited for it. Like I do love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but that key art for the maze like has me pumped up. Like it just looks so good. Like you had the original Leatherface. Well, they're all the original Leatherfaces, but yeah, you're going to be seeing every single version of Leatherface in this maze. I loved it when John Murdy would do the voice of the hitchhiker, like getting all pissed off at Leatherface and his brother.
Yeah.
The different scares that we're going to be experiencing in the maze. I think it's going to be a really good time.
Yeah.
To your point, Nico, Hellhound says, I was rewatching the HHN panel and came to the realization that there's a scare in almost every single room.
Yeah.
Yes. That's true. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. I think this one may
I don't know
rock
how
our
many
socks,
black
man.
balls could actually be in this maze. It didn't seem like a lot, to be honest.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. But you're going to have to watch TLEV Mysteries video about the presentation or the Walker Chronicles to see how the finale is going to be, because this is a little side story to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise, and I'm super excited to see all the iterations of Leatherface in this maze. With Eternal Bloodlines, I think I'm just going to be getting in line to actually be able to walk into stage 12. That is such a historic soundstage.
Yeah, man.
Dracula was filmed. Dracula's castle scenes were filmed. Frankenstein's castle scenes were filmed. It is
The Bride of Frankenstein as well.
That
alone, those three alone.
Just having my being able to walk in there is going to blow my mind. But the concept, like the key arts, like it's going to start off as a funeral for what's her name? I'm so sorry, I forgot. Saskia. Okay, Van Helsing's final relative funeral, and who's there to kill her off right then and there? It's the Bride of Dracula. But Frankenstein, or the Bride of Frankenstein's there to save Van Helsing, and then they go on this whole mission. Saskia. Okay. I think it's just going to be a really cool maze and a super historic location, and I think I'm so stoked for that. Or I am.
Now that is the largest, or at least at one point, it was the largest soundstage on the Universal back lot. So I'm really hoping that they use a lot of it for the house itself, because there's a big footprint to fill. But I could also kind of definitely see them using a lot of it for like backstage areas for the cast. But I do hope that we get that they squeeze every single ounce out of that soundstage. At the very least, it's cool that the facade is right at the door to the soundstage. Meaning that they're using a lot of it already. So fingers crossed that it's nice and long for us.
I'm interested to see or to hear the Slash music, because we did not get a taste of it at Midsummer Scream.
That's true.
We usually get a little taste. This time, nope. So that's going to be interesting. I mean, this should be I think there's going to be some new music. I mean, there is already a Bride of Frankenstein song that he made, but I'm hoping there's something for Saskia, and then there's a big dual songs too. I hope.
And Mystery said I didn't like Universal Monsters Unmasked. I liked it. It was just my least favorite of the Universal Monsters.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And to say that there's still one more house to be announced down in the lower lot.
That's
from
right.
what we know.
That's right.
So the lower lot is going to be the place to be for HHN this year.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. Hopefully we get that announcement soon because damn it, I want to know what the hell's going on already. And we don't know about the Terror Tram. We don't know about a couple of other scare zones. So there's still some surprises left for us, which is pretty exciting.
The show is
the show, yeah. I mean, we can assume that the Purge show is coming back, but we don't know yet. We can assume they might do something in the DreamWorks Theater, but we don't know yet. We can assume there might be a Blumhouse presence somewhere in the park, but again, we don't know yet. We'll see, y'all. We'll see. Very exciting stuff indeed.
We're gonna assume there's black walls, but we don't know yet.
Well, seeing the catacombs and the key art for Eternal Bloodlines that has me a little worried.
I know. All right. We'll
Prove
see.
us wrong, John. Prove us wrong. And Chris, please.
But we did get 2 scare zones announced, starting with Luchadores Monstruosos, which is going to be connected to Monstros Dos, which is a pretty fun concept, kind of based on old Mexican luchador B movies. I love the concept of that for sure. I checked my notes app. Literally, I think to this day, last year, I kind of wrote out a very basic, like what could a maze like this look like? Because it's just a fun concept to have like the luchador versus, the vampire or the alien or the whatever, right? So pretty fun to hear that they're going to kind of lean into that a little bit. Yeah. Don't love that it doesn't really connect to Monstros at all. Aside from the namesake, like why would these monsters be at the graveyard? Why would they themselves be monsters fighting other monsters? Right. Horror Nights Hollywood doesn't really lean in too much into the storylines for zones, but that's what we got. And then we also got this other scare zone announced, which I don't think we saw at all on the speculation map, but the murder of crows with a Z, leaning into heavily into the pack of crows that we've seen roaming the park. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts on these 2 scare zones that got announced?
I'm excited for Luchadores, but it's just the way that the scare zones in Hollywood are presented that I'm just not a fan of. I love the concept. I love the theme. I just want the theme of the scare zone or the atmosphere of the scare zone to match. Like, if Luchadores, we get... I want, like, some wrestling music or some type. I don't want dubstep in every single scare zone. Murder of crows, I want cawing and, like, rustling of a nest. And so on and so forth. I'm done with the dubstep.
Yeah. Me too, man.
Yeah. I mean, Murder of Crows is interesting because we still don't know where that location's gonna be. A lot of people are speculating it's kind of in between like Crusty Land and that side area of oh my gosh, what is it called? Hogwarts, but it's Hogsmeade. Thank you.
Hogsmeade, sure.
My brain worked. Because of how big the crows are. I don't know how many, like, I have a feeling this scare zone is very much just like this is gonna be where the crows are gonna walk around. It's a safer way because it's way bigger area. And so maybe they're gonna be in that area walking around. So wide and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's truly going to be something scary or if it's like, hey, if you want to see these crows that we all freaking love, and it's a full family now. There's a mother crow that seems to be added back. Mama's in there now. Yeah, so everyone's there now. And then luchadors, I mean, like you said, John, like there's not really a big connection. Like I talked about it in my video. I think it was the last one. There was an easy way you could connect it, like if it was like luchadors from the freaking from the graveyard itself, and maybe Muerte dug them up and had them come to life or something
Sure.
like that. Like it could be that simple of a connection. But yeah,
Right.
like you said, it doesn't seem like there's much of a connection. I know it wasn't Murdy's idea, that scare zone. It was, he talked about, I can't remember whose idea it was, but he did talk about it on the panel, that this idea has been brought to him so many times. And he was like, all right, let's do it this time. It's going to be a fun one. It could be scary if one of the scare actors just, catch you when you're not paying attention. But other than that, I really hope the scare actors like have fun with this one, and they're allowed to have fun with this one. If they can come in with, I don't know, some WWE finishers and stuff like that. I don't know. Or so just have fun with this one. I just hope fans are going to be very like they're or people who go to HHN. I don't think it's the fans who really mistreat the scare actors. But I hope that they have fun in this scare zone and not take put the scare actors in danger and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, we still have another scare zone that needs to be announced. There was a little sneak peek of it. I'm assuming that's for the scare zone. It seems like it's like a punk rock feel. And like Nico's saying, the EDM music's a little much. I think specifically for these scare zones, yes, the EDM music will not fit.
No.
If we're going with a punk rock feel scare zone, EDM is not the move.
Right.
Hell, just put Slash's music over.
Sure.
If you can get him from the mazes, I know you could get him just to throw music in for the scare zone. Come on.
100%.
If you need to fall back to that.
Yeah.
But I'm still excited for these scare zones. The art, like the scare actors have so much fun usually in these scare zones, and especially last year. I forget what the toys. What was it? Was it called Toys or something like that? The main scare
Was
zone.
it Toys? Yeah,
It was
with
something
the
like
Z.
that.
It was either Toys or Dolls.
Toys.
Dolls or something like that. But
Deadly
they had
Toys.
Yeah, they had
I don't
so
know.
much fun in that scare zone.
Yeah.
And so I just it's gonna be fun in there. Let's just hope they change up the music and everyone's gonna be safe. And that's it.
Yeah, for sure. Albert, this needs heavy metal music in that zone.
Yeah,
It's something
around
anything
that,
different.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Ariana, all my fingers crossed for zero EDM/house music the years. Yeah, man, that's another thing I love about Orlando is that they really take time to curate their playlists for the year. If it's different every single year, I'm done with the soundtracks of Horror Nights Hollywood. Larissa, great point. It's way too dang loud. I agree. There's times where you're just trying to sit and eat, and it's wow, wow, wow in your ear at fucking 120 decibels. No, thank you. Sam, we need RKOs and stunners. Hell yeah. Let's see.
I agree. And one of them needs to walk around with like an HHN belt, like they've won it. You got the duo, there's two guys who are fighting off all the monsters.
Yeah.
So they
I want the
carry some
hombre's
kind of
elbow.
That's great, Mr. Reed.
I want them to have fun with this one. Like, seriously.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Diego, excellent point here. Hoping we get some homages, tributes, parodies of some of the horror-esque luchadores. Vampiro, Damian 666, La Parca.
Yeah.
Hell, I mean, the Blue Demon, Santo. I mean, there's so many to choose from for sure. I hope they lean into it full. I want to see someone get hit with a 619. I want to see top rope maneuvers, whatever, man. That'll be really cool. Hellhound Haunt. My grandpa loved watching Mexican wrestling, so I'm very excited for Luchadores Monstruosos. Murder of Crows sounds amazing too. Yeah, my dad, he grew up watching Lucha Libre as well in Mexico, and he would watch those movies as well. So much fun. Again, a perfect theme for anything haunt related. I'm honestly surprised that it hasn't been done before, and I hope that it gets done even better in the future, and hopefully by somebody of Latin heritage. But that would be fun as well. KS says, I didn't like last year's Monstros Maze, but this year I'm so for it. I hope the merch matches the hype. Honestly, I hope for more merch, because they could definitely they could lean into that.
There's rumors going around that they're trying their best to do a massive merch drop for HHN this year.
Okay.
And the rumor is that we're going to have like a mini tribute store by
Oh.
Transformers.
Okay.
So we're going to see. I hope that comes true. And it's not just people talking on Twitter, but yeah, we got all these amazing announcements, even Texas Chainsaw, but no merch yet for them. You know, it's only the main IPs, the shared ones that we have merch for. So yeah. I'm hoping those are good and true rumors.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Ashley says, I don't understand why people care more for what gender wrote the story over the actual story itself. It's all about representation, friend. I'm all for representation. It's a necessity now. More than ever, we're seeing it. It needs to be not the, it can't be rare that like, oh, wow, a woman wrote this maze. It should be a non-issue. You know what I mean? It should just be like somebody wrote this that isn't an older white dude.
Yeah.
Because we've heard that story before time and time again.
Yeah, Murdy talked about it in this panel, like, you know, before even, you know, for a long time, he had no clue what La Llorona was at all. Right. And so because he started, I mean, you know, expanding the team and working with so many people that have their own cultures that they are finally able to bring to the event, and being represented more, you know, that's how we get these awesome mazes like Monstros. And then it just story writings like La Llorona being brought out. So yeah, I mean, it's important. It's really important. And for Horror Nights to be successful in California, I mean, it's really, really,
you got to tap into it. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
And
you got
I'm so ready to see ladies destroy it in Eternal Bloodlines.
Yeah.
I hope it's an all-female cast, because Bride of Frankenstein Lives is probably one of my favorite houses ever.
Solid.
Horror Nights. The ladies destroyed that maze and just made it amazing, and I can't wait to see it in Eternal Bloodlines.
I loved all the face-off moments. I loved like just how badass the bride was. So I'm glad they're bringing her back. I can't wait to see more of her story, and I can't wait to see what her and Saskia get up to, because, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really fun, man. Albert says, tribute store would be amazing. Yes, please.
Cool.
Please. We manifested the vinyl. Maybe we can manifest a true tribute store,
We're
Orlando
it out
style,
there right now. Yes.
Right now. Come on, man. Come on. Diego says, I hope some of the monsters wield wrestling type weapons. Hell yeah, man. Steel chair, barbed wire bat. Hell yeah.
Man.
The kendo stick. Classic. Hell yeah.
Oh man. Oh gosh. Yeah. I don't want to get too excited for it. Like, oh, man.
Fingers square. Yeah. Fingers crossed. KS says, going into HHN broke, coming home broke squared. Oh man. Yeah, that's fun. Well, like we said, there's still so much more to learn about Horror Nights. Maybe there's some more surprises heading our way. So stay tuned, folks. We're going to have to talk about this at some point for sure, because more announcements are heading our way. I can smell it within the next couple of weeks here for sure. We're going to get some neat surprises for sure. But, well, that's going to do it for us today. Honestly, there are other haunts that we can talk about, but it's already been a 2-hour show. I want to wrap it up. Thank you all for joining us today. Nico and Mr. E, thanks for being with us again. Why don't you tell everyone where they can find you guys?
Go ahead, Mr. E.
Yeah, I mean, TLEV Media on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, all of the socials. I mean, you have to have all of them. I just recently posted the panel and the interview with John Murdy. So if you guys are interested to see what John Murdy had to say about and how to get into the business itself, the haunt business, and also just like what he thinks about the whole community getting together and all that kind of stuff. That's at the end of the panel, so you can fast forward to that too. And then, I mean, there's construction updates. I mean, there's going to be a lot still for Horror Nights. I've heard they're starting to work on the Terror Tram, which I'm super surprised.
They are.
Did not
They
think they would do that yet. So
wait,
yeah,
so does that mean that all the 60th stuff is cleared out?
No. It's still
It's still there.
Yeah.
Damn.
They
That's going to
they
be a
started
quick
working on
turnaround.
War of the
they're
Worlds.
working by the plane right now. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's it. But yeah, so construction updates, go check out the channel and you'll see all of that. Yes.
For sure. Nico, where can they find you?
You can find me over at The Entertainment Connection on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Not really TikTok. I'm trying to get TikTok a little bit more, but yeah. When Mr. E's not posting Horror Nights updates on YouTube, I'll be posting updates on YouTube for Horror Nights updates, so you'll never miss a thing. I also have the Horror Connection on Instagram, and that is where all of my horror-related news and coverage will be coming from.
Yeah.
I have a lot of videos to edit from Midsummer Scream that will be on YouTube hopefully very soon.
Man.
But baby, there's a lot to do. So yeah, follow me on The Entertainment Connection.
And again, thank you for everyone watching the live. Thank you for sticking with us. This was a long one. We had to get through a lot, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Be sure to like, comment, and tell your friends. This is all we do, man. We just talk haunts. And we should be back very soon because, again, I have a feeling Horror Nights is going to have more for us.
Oh, man.
August 22nd, we're going to learn all about Not Scary Farm. Yeah, more news coming for sure. So be sure to follow us on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok, at The Hauntline, youtube.com/The Hauntline. And until the next time, see you out there, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye.